Hello, welcome to Sunfire Designs. Today I'm going to be making a fairy flower. I'm trying to make it resemble a sunflower, so I don't know. I almost had it with my last pour, but I used black to make my brown for the center darker, and some blacks can turn things green, and wouldn't you know, my black turned my center of my flower green. Now, it wasn't complete loss. It looked cool. However, I really want to get a nice, pretty one that doesn't have green in the middle. So I have remixed, and I've remixed the brown without the black. So first of all, I have a yellow, a really pretty yellow, and that is Liquitex yellow medium azo. I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but that's how I'm going to say it. And I have this nice orange, which is Liquitex Bright Orange. Here's my brown. You can see it's got a shimmer to it. For the brown, I used Let's Resin Brown. I just used a single drop of Pyrrole Red in Liquitex, and then I used this antique copper mica powder in the center. And as always, I will put links to everything in the description. So that's all nice and mixed up. And then additionally, I have this opaque white using Cast and Craft. And then I have a transparent white also using Cast and Craft. The resin I'm using is Art Pro resin. It's a 2 to 3 resin. I found it works the best for fairy flowers. And then finally, this mold is from Juliet Pouring Your Heart Out. You can get it on her Etsy store. I will put a link for that as well. All right, so, and then this is something, don't look at it, it's curing, it's in the works. And hopefully it will be up for viewing at some point, if not before this one is. All right, so I'm gonna start off by pouring my opaque white into my piping bag. So it is all ready to go after I pour my colors. I don't want to have to wait and let them start moving around and stuff without me. Don't be moving without me. All right, so, and I don't know, I need to put down some like guidelines on my counter so I can see where my edges are, so I can tell what you can see and what you can't see. But there's my white in my piping bag set aside. I am going to start with the lighter color and then go with the darker color, layer it so that the darkest color is in the center. So I'm going to start off with my yellow. I'm just going to dump it in there. It doesn't matter if it's not completely centered because it ends up moving and leveling, and it ends up being, you know, semi-centered for the most part. You know, and plus it doesn't have to be perfect, right? I mean, am I a perfectionist? Yes. Do I need perfection in order to be happy with my projects? No. I try to do my best and be perfect, but you know, I'm human, and I'm realizing that the older I get, the more I am comfortable. I get my own skin, and I'm happier with the things I do. They are okay with me. I am okay with them. So yeah, I guess that's just one of the perks of getting older, is that you just start to accept yourself, accept what you can do, and then not give a crap about what other people think. So, I mean, do I care what other people think? Yes. But if somebody doesn't like something I do, it's not the end of the world for me. All right, so now it goes in the brown in the center. And it's got that nice shimmer to it. Hopefully that does awesome things in the middle. Of course, we won't know until later. Maybe tonight I can find out. It might not be until tomorrow. But good thing is I have tomorrow off work. I have a medical appointment. And then after that, I can spend a little more time in here uninterrupted, hopefully. Unless my dogs get needy, in which case then, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But I don't know if anybody out there has dogs. My dogs can be quite needy. All right, here we go. I'm gonna torch it. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to get all the bubbles because it is still settling from being poured. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white and I'm going to pipe my little dots around. If you would like to fast forward through this part, go for it. It's not like I'd know anyway, and I wouldn't be mad, so do what you're gonna do. I'm probably not gonna talk about anything super important if you miss it anyway. All right, so I cut off the tip of my bag. I try to cut it a little smaller, just that way I can control the dots a little better. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna make these dots kind of big, at least this first row. And you can see that as soon as I put them in, they are already moving towards the center or towards wherever they're gonna move. I know that sometimes my stuff isn't level and it moves weird, but it looks like it's probably gonna do okay. All right, so I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do bigger dots, but then I'm gonna go back in between and fill them with smaller dots. And the closer I get to the center, the smaller my dots are gonna be. Just because I want smaller petals in the center and bigger petals on the outside, if possible. Don't know how this is gonna work. Every time I do this, it's different. I might be like, I'm gonna do it exactly the same way as I did in my last recipe, because I do write everything down and keep track of it, because my memory is pretty shot from having long COVID and I don't always remember what I did. So I write everything down and then I refer back to it when I want to do something. And sometimes I can remember it. More often than not, I have to refer back to my notes. But it's all good. Whatever works for you, right? All right, let me wind this up a little bit more. Whoops, just came right out the top at me. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go back, and these dots are gonna be slightly smaller. They're still kind of big. I made my hole a little bigger than I like to make it, unfortunately, but I can control it. I love how these look like candy corns. I don't know about you guys, I love candy corn. I love candy corn, it's so good. Probably one of my favorite Halloween candies, although I'm not gonna lie, I rarely meet a candy I don't like. So my kids, when they were young enough to go trick-or-treating, I always had to take the candy tax. Mom gets a candy tax for taking you out, schlepping you around, spending time making sure that you don't get kidnapped. So Mama's gonna take the candy tax. Thankfully, they were good sports about it. They could have been, you know, a lot different and they could have gotten mad, but they were really good. As long as I didn't eat all of their favorite candies, they didn't care. And I don't know what your favorite candies are, but I am really liking Heath right now. And I am liking, I always like peanut butter cups, Reese's peanut butter cups. And yeah, those are my two favorite probably. I like a lot of different candy. I like Whoppers. I'm gonna make myself hungry here. I'm just putting a couple extra dots on these. I don't want to totally overwhelm it, but in a couple places where the dots have already moved. Almost done. All right, I think that's enough dots. Maybe wait, one more in the middle. There we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I am going to do my push. Oh, I also mixed up a glitter mix like this for the center. I will not be putting it in immediately. I'm gonna wait probably 20 minutes or so before I pour it in, before I put that in. All right, here we go. We're gonna pour in our white. Make sure that we don't overflow our mold, because that has happened to me before, and then it runs off the side of the mold and it pulls everything with it. and it ends up being lopsided. So, all right, so I'm gonna put you on time lapse for just a little bit while this moves. We're gonna watch the candy corn coaster, and hopefully everything works out and it looks awesome. So I won't talk to you again until we unmold, but enjoy the little time lapse, and I will see you in momentarily on your time, okay? All right, here we go. Hi. All right, it's time for unmolding. Let's see how this goes. I can definitely see the orange around the outside, and then the yellow, and there's little bits of brown, so who knows what we're gonna end up with. Let's give it a shot and see. All right, ready? That came out cool. That came out really cool. This actually is more like a brownish in the middle. It looks kind of funky on here, but I like it. It looks better in person. I'm not gonna lie, it really looks better in person. So hopefully I can, my cat's talking to me, sorry. Hopefully I can get a good picture of it outside and show you what it looks like. And I like the petals go all the way to the center, which is a plus. So this does have kind of a greenish hint, but I said that it might. So the black, for some reason, when it mixes with things, makes it green. So I think next time I do it, I won't add the black to the brown, but I still like it. What do you think? Let me know. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and I will see you next time. Bye.